Hey everyone out there in Metal Land, I'm the lovely Lauren.
I'm Metal Max.
And we're coming at you with another Shreds from Doom.
Shreds from the Tomb.
Shreds from the Tomb! Alright, and this week we got lots of exciting information coming up for you guys. If you guys haven't already heard Nirvana, there was two unheard songs. One called David Solo and the other called Lullaby that were found unheard songs by Nirvana, and they are pretty awesome. Oops. They're pretty awesome. So, I definitely say go check them out. We'll leave the link in there for you guys below. I mean, honestly, there's no words to describe it. So I'm going to let you guys check it out and come up with something for yourself.
All right. We've got some amazing Metallica news to tell you guys. And for once, it actually involves the creation of a new album. That is right. Metallica has just finished recording their brand new album. There's no word on what it's going to be called yet or when it's going to be released, but from the looks of things, it looks as though it could be released later on this year. And I, for one, I'm always excited whenever there's a new Metallica album out because, it's like it gives you the same feeling as what you would hear when the Beatles came out with albums back in the 60s.
It's classic. Even my mom loves Metallica.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And I'm hoping that, among all the songs that they have on there, they might try to sneak in that little rendition of the Star Spangled Banner they performed at the NHL Stanley Cup Finals.
Oh, you want them to do that, don't you, Max?
I sure do.
I don't blame you.
And in a past interview, James Hetfield said that their biggest problem these days is the fact that they don't have too many songs. It's the fact that they have too many songs. So that's Metallica. They're always coming up with new types of riffs, and hopefully, if it's any indication, we'll get a continuation of sorts from where Death Magnetic left off, and not have it be a repeat of the Lulu scenario. So, anyway, again, no word on when Metallica plans to make their new album available or what it's going to be called, but my guess is we should be hearing about.
My next article for you guys is Mastodon is coming out with not just a single album, but a double album. So that should
double
be
album.
Double
Tell
album.
Us more.
Yeah. Oh, of course, Max. I'll always tell you guys more. So supposedly their currently unreleased 2014 EP will be included on that. But in an interview with Guitar World, Brett Hines mentioned that the first part of the album will be Cold Dark Place, and it was written about the breakup just by Brett Hines himself. And then the second part of the album supposedly sounds like it's written by everyone but Brett Hines. So that should be pretty exciting to hear, and we'll keep telling you more as it comes, but hopefully it comes out real soon. So that's exciting.
Brand new metal band signing to tell you guys about. Necromancing the Stone has just been signed to Metal Blade Records.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think, basically from what I've heard, I think they're likely death metal or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure when we're gonna hear anything new from those guys, but the fact that they're on Metal Blade Records, I mean, it shows you that that again, it's one of the most popular labels out there for metal music. In fact, I think the only non-metal band they ever had on that label were, gasp, the Goo Goo Dolls. that was before they ventured into more adult-sounding music, and they actually had a bit more punk in their sound. So, but yeah, I mean, other than that, Metal Blade Records sticks to the status quo, and the fact that when they sign a lot of these new bands like Necromancing the Stone, it shows you that they've really got a niche for good talent.
Mm-hmm. My next article, it has not as much to do with metal music and rock music and whatnot. It has more to do with music in general. But the New York Mets actually called the cops on a man for playing his music too loud. He had 80 speakers. 80 speakers in his van.
Whoa.
Yeah. He said it was worth about $20,000 worth of speakers. I mean, you can't even like imagine. That would literally be, no wonder they called the cops. It'd be like going to a show itself, like in one van. Like that is just
or
amazing.
more like an unscheduled concert for that matter.
Yeah. And so the New York Mets called the cops.
Now what do you suppose he was playing on this speaker?
You know what? Let's hope some really good metal or some good hard rock, but
or it could be hip hop too. You know.
Let's not. We're just not going to say that.
Okay. All right.
But supposedly in an interview with him, he said he knew it was illegal, but it was the weekend, which
that's everybody's excuse.
Yeah. He was charged with second-degree criminal nuisance, general disorderly conduct, and obstructing driver's view. So that's definitely a small list of charges, but I think it's pretty badass that he did that.
Very badass.
I don't know. I think that'd be pretty awesome to hear and pretty awesome to see. I mean, here's a picture for you guys, but just like see how many speakers he had is just like insane. I mean, he must really love music. He's got $20,000 worth of speakers in his car.
Yes.
He's like, I didn't buy a car, I bought a van just so I could stick all of those speakers in it.
Finally, you remember the band White Zombie, don't you?
Oh, of course, Max, of course.
Do you remember when they abruptly called it quits shortly after Rob Zombie came out with his debut solo album, Hellbilly Deluxe?
How could you forget, Max?
Well, a recent article talks about how that split occurred and, how she thought it was a slap in the face. Ex-White Zombie bassist Sean Yeselt was quoted in saying that, for a while she knew that things were bad in the White Zombie camp, but figured that they would eventually be getting back together to possibly make another album like a follow-up to their 1995 biggest-selling effort, Astro Creep 2000. But when she heard Rob Zombie's solo album come out at that very time, she pretty much felt it was a slap in the face and, a big surprise to, not so much of a surprise that everybody saw coming. Now, Rob Zombie has been quoted in recent interviews asking if White Zombie will ever reunite. And in every one of those interviews, he's always said no because, White Zombie has done exactly what it is they were going to do. It's finished. Let's move on. And he also said that he's gone to so many reunion shows over the years when it comes to certain bands, and sometimes they're not exactly what you hope for, and that's why he's been against the idea of reuniting White Zombie from the very start because he doesn't want it to be one of those bands where fans paid money only to have them ripped off because the performance just wasn't good.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as I love White Zombie, I agree with Rob's statement because, let's face it, what you hear in Rob Zombie's solo material nowadays, that's the closest you're ever going to get to any new White Zombie music. So, plus, what Rob Zombie has also said recently that, as over the years he has been phasing out a lot of his old White Zombie songs in concert because, he believes that the new material is enough to fill up the remainder of his set, and therefore, it's his way of saying, if you want to hear certain White Zombie songs, you can play them in your stereo on the way to the concert.
Makes a good point.
So yeah, I mean, so that gives you a little bit of inside info on why the split with White Zombie happened, why he refuses to reunite the band, and why he does so good doing solo stuff. So, yeah. Anyway, that's this week's edition of Shreds from the Tomb. What will we report on next time around?
Well, we got lots of new stuff coming up. We are also going to start a new feature on the website, a band spotlight. And the first band we are spotlighting is Fistful of Pistols. They've got a new show coming up on the 14th at the High Noon Saloon.
Be on lookout for that, and we got a bunch of other stuff that we just can't tell you about right now because we're so excited.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
in that case, I'm the lovely Lauren. I'm signing off.
I'm Metal Max, and I'm doing the exact same thing.
And you'll hear us here pretty soon.
Just remember, 666 is the number of the beast.